Code P0096 might be the reason your engine performance feels inconsistent. If you've scanned your car and found this code, it indicates an intake air temperature sensor 2 circuit range or performance issue. Unlike a standard circuit malfunction, this code means the computer saw the temperature data change faster or more drastically than is physically possible. The IAT sensor is a thermistor that changes resistance based on heat. It receives 5 volts from the powertrain control module. Cold air creates high resistance and warm air creates low resistance. The computer monitors this voltage to adjust your fuel mixture. Code P0096 sets when that signal fluctuates wildly in a very short time. Often you will not feel any symptoms immediately, but the malfunction indicator lamp will be illuminated. The car might have intermittent drivability issues since the computer is getting confused about the air density. The causes here are usually an intermittent failure in the sensor itself, an open wire in the signal or ground circuit, or a short to ground. Bad connections at the sensor plug or the computer are also common culprits. To troubleshoot this, first clear any other codes. Then use a scan tool to check the IAT voltage with the key on and the engine off. On a cold engine, it should match the coolant temperature sensor. If the numbers are wildly different, you likely have a sensor issue. A great trick is to use the freeze frame data on your scanner. If the reading at the time of failure was negative 30 degrees Fahrenheit, you had a momentary high resistance or open circuit. If the reading was above 250 degrees Fahrenheit, you had a momentary short. You can try to replicate the failure by removing the sensor and artificially heating and cooling it. Put it in a freezer, then use a heat gun gently. Watch the resistance on an ohm meter. It should change smoothly. If the numbers jump around erratically, replace the sensor. If you cannot make the sensor fail on the bench, put it back in and perform a wiggle test on the wiring harness while watching the voltage on your scanner. If wiggling the wires causes a voltage spike, you have a wiring break or a bad connector. Since this code looks for extremely short, fast changes, it is almost always a bad sensor unless you are driving a very old vehicle with degrading wiring. If these tests seem too complex, taking it to a shop is your best bet to avoid throwing parts at the problem. Drive safe.